I was just like, what the f? With everything that has happened in the last few years, why are people so nasty to each other? Why can't we support each other? I got my first hater and I'm gonna tell you about it. I want to tell you something that happened to me this week about having my first hater online, how I responded to it and how I've coped with it and mostly moved on. I think it came as a bit of a shock and a surprise to me. Logically, I've always known that as you have more of a presence online, you are opening yourself up to cop some of that crap from other people. I guess I just wasn't expecting it to happen so soon. And to me, I was really upset. I just want to tell you about that because I know that if you're watching this, that could be one of your fears about putting yourself out there on social media. On my previous videos on overcoming the fear of being on social media as an INFJ, I do talk about how it can bring up that rejection and abandonment wound. It can be very scary and vulnerable for a person to put themselves online. And I guess at the back of our heads, we see so many of these large accounts and well-known people who are on the receiving end of online bullying and really negative and nasty comments, their entire being questioned. So I want to share what was happening leading up to this moment and then what actually took place. I, as an INFJ, knew that I needed to grow my business slowly. I started off with one client and I celebrated having that client. I saw it as, with this client, I am learning all of my processes and I'm allowing my nervous system to regulate and to be used to holding space for this one person. And then when I felt ready, I received my second client. And again, I went through the whole process of recalibrating. And that's how I've been slowly building my business, one client at a time. However, a few weeks ago, my business doubled pretty much overnight. I felt my nervous system kind of completely freak out. And I thought, how am I going to cope by the end of the week of having all of these counseling appointments? Because if you know anything about counseling, and I love counseling, it's one of my most favorite things to do. I have so much joy in doing it. But when I am counseling a client, I want to be 100% completely present with that person, holding space for them. And at times you can hear really heavy things. Really heavy, and I can't leave a session and tell somebody else about what I've just heard. It has to sit with me. I have my supervisor who I can debrief with if I need to. Other than that, those person's secrets, they sit with me. And so that's what I mean by regulating my nervous system to be able to keep holding space for more people. So my business doubled, which was really, really exciting, but also internally I started freaking out. My YouTube subscribers have increased as well. So I'm seeing this growth, which is what I've been wanting. I've been wanting growth, and it happened. And suddenly I've climbed to this, if you're thinking about a mountain, I've climbed to this other level. And we all know that the higher you climb up a mountain, the windier it becomes. And so I'm standing at this higher level, internally slightly freaking out, but I'm using all of my tools that I would tell my counseling clients and, doing a lot of positive affirmations, self-care, self-regulating, and just really leaning into all of my tools. But I'm standing on this new peak and it feels really windy. And I'm looking down and I'm thinking, wow, it was so much more comfortable down there. I felt so much more comfortable, less vulnerable, less exposed. But we're here and I'm going for it and I'm celebrating this. And I'm standing there and I'm feeling kind of wobbly, but it's okay. And then I uploaded my latest video, which was part 2 of overcoming fear on social media as an INFJ. And I had such a positive, amazing response to the first video in this women's business group that I'm in. So I thought, had so many women asking me, let me know when part 2 comes out. So I go back into this business group and it's a really big group. It's probably got about 160,000 members in this group. I put a post up and I say, a lot of you are asking for part 2, here it is. And then I had this stranger do a laughing response on Facebook, which is fine. And she put a post up and said, Myers-Briggs personality, it's all bullshit. What you're doing is dangerous. And she posted a bunch of articles explaining why Myers-Briggs personality is pseudoscience and why it's all bullshit and how it's a cult.
And oh my gosh, I could talk to you about cults. Maybe I'll do that another time, but...
Anyway, she posted these articles. Some of these articles I agree with. This person doesn't know me. This person doesn't know my heart, doesn't know my vision, doesn't know anything about me at all, which is fine. But I felt like she wouldn't have been willing to have an open conversation. And if you know anything about me, I am a very open-minded person. I love hearing other people's opinions, and I'm open-minded to hearing that. I mean, honestly, I could do a whole other video about personality development and these personality tests, because I also don't completely agree with Myers-Briggs, believe it or not. But I have a reason why I lean on it on my YouTube videos and some of the posts that I write.
And I'll talk about that in some of the video. Let me know if you want me to go into that, because I will.
Because I'm on two sides. Anyway, I was about to go to bed and I thought, I'm just not willing to engage with this person. I just was not in the mood, and maybe I did the wrong thing, but I deleted my post. I thought, I'm not going there, I'm deleting this post. So I delete the post and I'm getting ready for bed. I'm tired. I'm still freaking out about being on this new level of business and putting myself out there in such a big way, a big scary way. And then 5 minutes after I deleted my post, this person went onto my Facebook page, my business Facebook page, and left me a negative review, basically saying that I'm unprofessional, that what I'm doing is outdated, and it shows how unprofessional I am. And it really triggered a response. And because I don't ask people for reviews, it made my star rating go down 3 stars. I was just like, what the f***? I have worked so hard to get to this place, and then for one person to bring me down like that. And I know it might sound ridiculous, but I am a sensitive person, and I am a human. Behind this screen, I am a human with a heart and with feelings, and so it triggered this big response in me. I responded to the review and I actually said to her, you know what? Thank you so much for sharing these articles. I agree. And you can read my response. You can read what this person wrote and you can read my response. I am open to that. I have no shame. But I went to bed and I felt so sick and I was devastated. I was just beside myself. The next morning, thankfully, I didn't have my regular counselling appointment. So I get the kids to school and I crawled back into bed and I was just like, what the heck? Why has this reacted so strongly with me? I reflected and I thought, I always feel triggered when people attack my integrity. And that's what it felt like. It felt like an attack on my integrity. I have been working with vulnerable people since I was out of high school. I went to university to become a youth worker. For over 15 years, I was working in homeless shelters, youth corrections, residential units, kids in foster care. After that, I moved into private practice with counselling, so I upskilled to become a counsellor, and my integrity is everything to me. Following my code of ethics is so important to me. Throughout my whole career, I have made it a point to constantly have professional development, to have mentors in my life, to see my supervisor. I am always working on myself and how I show up in a professional way. And for someone to question that after not even having a conversation with me, not engaging with any of my content or my services, not knowing a freaking thing about me, and to put a negative review like that up, that just pissed me off. Because if you know, I mean, if you're watching this, I'm sure you know bits about me. You would know that my heart is so big. I care about people so much, and I have sacrificed so much of my life to be in a place to serve others and to be in a place to serve my community. I have done so much of my own personal development and so much of my own therapy and healing so that I could be in a place to help others. And for someone to not know a single thing about me and put that up, that really hurt. I recognized this trigger, and I understand that as you shine your light and as you put yourself out there in such a public way, you do become open to receiving hate and becoming open to bullying. And I get that, but it really frustrates me because it's so easy for people to be keyboard warriors. I noticed that this person who left this review actually has left negative reviews on over 30 small businesses, telling them that they're disgusting, telling them that they're dangerous. With everything that has happened in the last few years, why are people so nasty to each other? Why can't we support each other? Sure, if you don't agree with something, that's totally fine. Like, as I said, I am open to having a conversation if people are willing to listen. But why do we waste so much energy putting negativity out there? And I guess I naively believe that most people have a good heart, and so when you are confronted with something like that, it's very like, okay, that's not like, what? I mean, my friends in my local area, I have so many supportive and beautiful friends who have their own businesses, and we are just cheering each other on, and we are supporting each other, and we are just like, and I guess I just expect that from all women in business. Whew.